What's up, guys? This is Better Than Static. I'm Tyler, and tonight I got with me my buddy Lucas, as always, and we have a special guest, one of my favorite streamers. You come for the gameplay and you stay for the community he's built, called the Drnkadoos, and it is Drnkie. He is super cool. Give him a warm welcome.
Yo.
Yeah, Lucas, thank you for that warm welcome.
Nice round of applause going for you.
Yeah.
I feel so warm right now. Is it hot in my room? I don't know.
I see you got that fireplace behind you going.
Yeah. I have to cool that down.
Oh, yeah. But honestly, dude, I think you're the only Twitch streamer I subscribe to. And it all started with somebody from your community gave me a free sub, which was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Drnkadoos, which honestly that name started off as a joke and it has stuck. It's a very cool community that is just everyone's so nice to each other, and like they did with you, give something to each other. It's just super weird to me that this many cool people just piled into my stream all at once. So I'd love being there. It's a lot of fun, man, streaming to that community.
Yeah, they're super cool. But I honestly get in the chat. I'm like, oh, is Genitals in there today, or is Hog Gear in there today? I'm like, so it's really awesome that you've created that, and I also really enjoy having you on the show. And guys, Drnkie's not just a streamer. You might know him as Brian from his podcast Backspace Nomads, which is really cool. It's a gaming news podcast. They're really well established. I love the graphics you have behind that.
Thank you. In a previous life, I was a graphic designer, so I'm able to kind of throw that in there and make us look good. It's my only contribution because Monica carries me. Other than that, my co-host.
Nah, you guys are great. You guys got really good chemistry. How long have you all been friends? Because I honestly cannot tell.
Friends. It's a weird thing because back 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years. She just raided me on Twitch, right? I was just streaming, and she raided me, and then the next TwitchCon that was after that, she was like, "Hey, do you want to come out and stay at the B&B? I got a bunch of people here." I'm like, "Sounds good." So that was 2 years ago, and that's when we met, in person, and then ever since then we've been really good friends. Like you said, the chemistry was really good. We just got each other's sense of humor, and we've just been doing the podcast for the last 1.5 years since then. So
that's awesome, dude. We've been, I think we got a year. We got a year and a month.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
And then me and Luke, our audience knows, but me and Lucas, and then our other buddy Chris, who's usually on the show, we've been best friends since kindergarten. So we've just all come up through together. Yeah. But that's awesome.
Awesome, dude.
So
way too long.
Yeah.
Ouch, feels bad.
No, it's we've known each other a long time. Me and Lucas went through college together, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
great. That's great that you stayed in touch because I don't know anyone I grew up with anymore. There's one guy who I went to high school with I still talk to, and it's because we ended up at the same workplace 10 years later. Or I was like, oh, I know you, and that's the only reason we talk.
Yeah. That which I was talking about, bad internet being a bad thing of a podunk town, but staying in touch with your best friends since school is another great thing about it. But you guys want to go ahead and roll into some topics?
I'm ready for these topics.
Let's go.
Cool. So first topic is Deadpool 2 comes out. So we're recording the Thursday before, but it'll come this will come out on the Monday, and the following Thursday is when it comes out. So how did you guys feel about the first Deadpool?
I loved it. I thought it was awesome. It was hilarious.
Oh, I was same as you. I absolutely loved it. I'm not too well versed in the Deadpool character. When it comes to comic books and stuff, I know a little bit. I've scratched the surface, but I don't go deep. But what I do know about is the character Colossus, because Colossus was my favorite X-Men of all time.
I'm right there with you.
Dude, the arcade machine, the old X-Men arcade machine, I'd be get off Colossus. He's mine. I'd be elbowing my brothers and stuff.
Yeah.
He is mine. So this is the first time they did the Colossus justice. He was full-on Russian. He was funny. So I was in love with the movie just because Colossus, they got me. It didn't even have to be a good movie. I just love that Colossus is there, cracking jokes.
Dude, they got the small details just right. So he's a merc with a mouth, and you can honestly probably find those lines in a comic somewhere. I know, like, I'm a huge comic book nerd. I'm more DC than Marvel, but like, I never got behind Deadpool as a like reading because it seemed like with breaking the fourth wall kind of took me out of the comic because I wanted to be immersed in the book. But in the movie, I absolutely love that. I don't know why there's that difference between those two, but he does such a good job of breaking. Like, Ryan Reynolds was made to play that role, and not the crappy one from X-Men Origins.
The Merc without the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so bad. So what are your expectations for Deadpool 2? Are you expecting, to be a flop? Are you expecting to be good? Let's hear it.
I hope it's more of the same, honestly. Like, I don't think they could have done it any better than they did in the first movie. Like, I think with that character, I'm also not a huge Deadpool person, comic-wise or anything like that, but from what I know, it wasn't too over the top, but still over the top enough to be really funny. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm completely excited to see Cable coming up in this movie.
Yeah.
Cable's another one of those people from the X-Men cartoon show back in the 90s. I was a big fan of Cable ever since then, and I know everyone hates that cartoon because it's not like the comic book. There's that disconnect. But I'm totally excited to see Josh Brolin as him. He's the perfect casting for that. I'm excited to see the storyline they bring into it because I don't think they had any storylines that weren't carried over from the first one. It all kind of wrapped itself up, if I'm correct about that. So a brand new story. Negatron, teenage whatever her name is, she looks awesome in the trailer.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see her. I guess they're bringing Colossus back, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I really want to see what craziness they do with the death, because how do they go over how do they outdo themselves from the first one with the way they kill people? They were shooting people through ankles and stuff. How do you even top that? How do you top it? I can't wait to see it, dude.
Well, in the trailer they got the Zamboni death, and that sets the bar high.
Yeah.
So I'm right there with you. But so for me, I'm pumped to see how well they do with the other characters too, because Domino's in there, and I am excited to see Cable. I love Josh Brolin. I'm a big Josh Brolin fan. Infinity War was a good movie. I liked it. He did great as Thanos, but I want to see him more dark. Because Thanos was dark, but this is almost past. I don't know. It's just it's way higher.
DC dark.
Which great segue into our next kind of the jabs he's taking at DC. How do you feel about that? That is true fourth wall breaking. So just how do you guys feel about the jabs he takes at DC? I don't know. I'm
perfectly fine with it. Yeah, it's awesome.
I think
there's nothing better than a good just verbal jab, stay in your lane, DC. Gotcha. This is where the fun movies are.
Oh yeah, and what's crazy is they take the smallest things the green screen thing on Cable's arm and make that How do you think of that? How do you think of the green screen for the lip? That's so unique and nobody would have thought of it, but they did. And what was the dark one for Deadpool said are you sure you're in the right movie universe? I love those.
Yeah.
But
they did it in the first movie too with the Green Lantern costume.
Yeah.
Don't make it green or animated.
Well, in the first one they even took jabs at themselves with the origins, which I love. I love that they're okay at laughing at themselves too.
I think that's the only way that movie is able to exist, because Ryan Reynolds is so well known for having flop movies. And so for him to come in and take the Deadpool role, how do you not break the fourth wall and take jabs at yourself like that? Super smart writing just to kind of own that space.
Yeah.
And then throw it back and nope, it's still hilarious. Don't make fun of us. Ryan Reynolds is genius, bro. Genius.
Oh yeah.
To do that in a writing sense.
Well, and it fits I feel our nowadays humor is very self-deprecating. People love self-deprecating humor, and he's just taking that to the next level. He's yeah, I'm okay. You should be okay laughing at this too, and it is great. I like it. I like it a lot. I know we're all not big Teen Titans Go fans, because I prefer the original Teen Titans that was on Cartoon Network. But DC is trying to take jabs back at Deadpool by like bringing up like in Teen Titans Go, which is just such a kids movie. I don't think there's many adults watching it. They say like they take the jab back at the Green Lantern, but it's like Jon Stewart and like Starfire goes, "So you had a movie, right?" And he goes, "Oh, we don't talk about that." So it's like they're trying to take the joke and reuse it.
Yeah. I think there was also a joke about them calling Deathstroke Deadpool too in one of them. And I've never watched the show. I have no intention on watching the show ever. But it just doesn't seem to fit with what I know about the show, which is very, very little.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was actually a big fan of the original Teen Titans on Cartoon Network. Like this one, you know, I think they're missing their age range because Teen Titans Go is such a kids show. You should be hitting the adults with that joke, the ones that are going to go watch Deadpool. And like DC's just not love DC so much, but they're not hitting where they need to hit with those jokes.
I haven't really figured out the movie side of things.
Yeah, I was gonna say DC usually never does hit the mark when it comes to like joking in like the movies, and I don't know what they're thinking, like taking jabs at Deadpool. Like you're not gonna be able to make the like good enough jokes. Like Deadpool can like operate in a whole nother universe of humor. Like you cannot take a swing at that. Like that's not gonna work for you, brothers.
They're
like,
just digging themselves a hole, like, and he's gonna bury them.
Can't win that battle.
Yeah. But like, I want DC to make good movies, and I was watching Ninja the other day. It was like really late or something. I think it might have been a rerun of his, but he was excited for the Aquaman movie, and he's like, you know, maybe there'll be some jokes because they're like DC's Aquaman is becoming the Joker supposedly, and I'm just like, I don't think they're gonna hit the same jokes with that.
It's just dude. He's like jumping around the whole movie saying like Yahoo and stuff. Like he's a rad surfer, bro. Like that is not Aquaman, dude. Like who at DC signed off on that? You don't even know your characters, dude.
Exactly.
Like the DC universe is so frustrating because they don't understand the characters the way that Marvel does. And like that's why there'll never be a good DC movie. And like Wonder Woman was like a diamond in the rough. They'll never hit lightning will never hit strike twice. It will never happen.
Oh yeah, we had like 3 episodes where we talked about how good the Wonder Woman movie was, and and you're so right. They don't. It's what's crazy is they own the characters, but they don't know the characters.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and Marvel. The thing behind Marvel is like even if they don't do the characters the same as the comics, they still make a very likable character. Like Star-Lord in the comics is like this super strict, like, you know, mercenary guy, and they took that and like made him into goofy guy Chris Pratt to a guy you love, and
right.
Yeah, and if DC's gonna do that, they need to grasp a hold of like tones in movies and actually feel out their audience a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're very tonally confused with what they're going for. I mean, starting off with Man of Steel, a very, very dark movie. Very slow paced, and then you go to Batman v Superman, which again, same dark, slow paced. And then they were like, "Oh well, everyone says it's too dark, so let's throw these little awful one-liners in a still very dark movie," and it just doesn't work. I don't know.
Does DC like the head of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Kevin Feige or whatever? Mm-hmm. Is there an equivalent to him that is in charge of like the DC universe? You know what I'm saying? If you don't know their name, that's fine. Like, is there a person? You know what I'm saying?
I think there is. I just like nobody knows to call him out.
Isn't it the dude that directed the first Avengers movie?
Didn't
they pick him up?
What is his name?
This is awkward because he's super popular.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's like huge. He's the guy who did like Buffy. He did Angel.
I'm looking
Avengers movies. He did Firefly. Like, how do we not know this guy's name? This is so embarrassing.
Because I love Firefly too. Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Crisis averted.
So he's in charge of it now?
I don't know if he's in charge, but I know he got picked up by DC at some point for, I don't know, as a director or if he was the head of the program or whatever you would call it.
Sure. They need someone. They need like a
Yeah.
they need like a lighthouse in the storm because it's a mess over there, dude. It's
Yeah.
a mess.
Well,
They
like,
need someone in charge and a time machine to go back about 10 to 15 years so they can establish all of these characters before making a team-up movie.
oh yeah. Well, like,
That's-
so Zack Snyder, I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan, but he does have some decent movies out there. Like that, I think he needs someone to give him direction. Like Josh Whedon needs to. This is where we're going. I think that's why Marvel's so well. Is like Disney has that picture of this is where we want to take people, and I think Wonder Woman was so well received because Patty Jenkins is very directional. She has a story arc before she writes a movie, which like she was supposed to write Thor 2. It was supposed to be really good, almost like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, where Odin wouldn't let Thor date Jane because like she was from Earth. Like it was supposed to be this whole thing, and it would have been like if you've not read that. Yeah. If you had not read that, like you should go look up that summary.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, it's really good. And it was like it tied in why the elves went to Earth and why why the ether was a part of it. And after reading that, I have so much more respect for Patty Jenkins, and like I feel like that's why she made such a good DC movie. Which,
dang, what could have been?
Oh yeah, I thought that so far. I'm trying to think of who's.
Every time I see Nick Cage in that Superman costume.
Yeah.
What could have been?
I saw an Instagram post the other day of like who would have been like the Avengers in the '90s, and like Eddie Murphy was Falcon.
I saw that.
And like
dude.
Brad Pitt was Thor. Speaking of what could have been. Well, yeah, they picked him so well. What made me mad is I couldn't think of all
Ant-Man.
Oh yes. Oh,
it was so
gosh.
perfect, man.
They did such a good. What made me frustrated is I couldn't recognize some of the faces, and I'm like, I should know. I've watched a bunch of '90s movies. I'm trying to think of who is directing Aquaman, but thinking of what could have been that made me think of the Instagram post.
Yeah. I hope Aquaman's good because it's such a unique character that like really like there's no ocean superhero out there right now. And like they've got to do good with that, and they've got to like take him a little bit more seriously than like yelling out while he's like surfing down a wave.
Yeah, I hope there is no more like oh yeah, or, like my man. But they have such a lore they can like explore with Atlantis and like why is everybody mad at Aquaman and explain Mira's character. They have a lot of good real estate they can cover if they will. I looked it up and James Wan is an Australian film director who is writing that. I don't know anything else about him.
Yeah, he is known for The Conjuring, The Conjuring 2, Saw, and Furious 7.
Okay.
I mean,
those are big franchises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Furious 7 and Conjuring because Lucas and our other friends tricked me into going and watch it. I'm not a scary movie guy.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I'm a huge chicken, but I guess I guess James Wan can do it. Maybe ?
We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, the Russo brothers like did Arrested Development before Avengers and Civil War. You know what I mean? So like maybe it'll be amazing.
I hope so. I hope so. Because like you can't just don't get any worse. That's what I'm worried about.
There's a plan. Like, let's make the Justice League. Let's bottom this franchise out, and then like work our way up. There's like you can't fail now.
Yeah.
I did it for you.
Exactly. So I guess let's roll into more of a pop culture topic. This is a very abrupt segue, but did you all see Childish Gambino's new music video?
Boy, did I!
I did. I've watched it about 25 times or more.
The same way.
I'm trying to find out what all is going on in there. It's
a whole lot. Every time I watch it, I see something else.
It is like one of the most first off, when's the last time you the country has ever talked about a music video aside from being cool? Like it's like a conversation has been started because of this like video. Like it's art beats. It's crazy how good it is. And I'm the same way. I've watched it like 15, 17 times now, dude. Like just can't stop watching.
Well, we're huge Donald Glover fans. Me and Lucas and our other buddy Chris are, and I don't know how you feel about him. Are you as well big fan or?
I'm definitely a fan. I wouldn't call myself like a huge fan, you know. I thought a lot of his music up until like Redbone and stuff was a little bit like gimmicky rap that I wasn't that into. But like Redbone came out, I was like, oh, what's he doing over here? And I heard this, and I'm like, I am a fangirl. Let me watch this like 17 times. It's amazing. Like, oh my god, what's he been doing his whole life? Like, I know everything about him now.
Oh yeah, and like, what's crazy is everything he does well. Like he does very well, which is crazy. And you're exactly right that this is the first music video we've had in a while that was controversial, kinda. And it's not just controversial to be controversial. It's controversial of like educating. It's not just like trying to gloss over. He gives you
to raise a point, to start a conversation, not to make a statement per se, more so to start a conversation, just like we're doing now, talking about the actual issues at hand in America, which is, and how he did it is, even if you take the video at face value, it's still a really, really good, interesting video.
Yeah, it's very loaded.
And
I think there's like what 3 cuts in the whole video. Like in terms of like cinematography, it's gorgeous. Like it's absolutely like the way everything's framed is like beautiful. The lighting in it, the way everything kind of gets like, you know, the song gets crazier, and then you start to see more fire and reds in it from a very like monotone like colors. Like it's just an amazing like visual from the get go. And then like you say, the more you watch it, there's like stuff going on in the background. It starts to get deeper and deeper. You're jumping down the well with that.
Oh yeah, and I wish I would have held on to that article, but it had like this article, and it didn't even have all of it. They came up front and said this is not everything that's like referenced in this video, but it's like it's not just, you know, current issues. It's past issues that they're bringing back up, which is, I think is, you know, this is going to get very history nerd, but like Thomas Jefferson says, those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. So like I think this is like him trying to say we need to fix this stuff. We can't just gloss over what's in the past.
They're bringing like I don't know if I read the article you did, but I know I was following on Twitter, and a lot of people were bringing up a lot of the dance moves that he was pulling off, the stances he was taking with the guns were very much inspired by old like Jim Crow posters and like 1940s and 50s like propaganda posters. Like this is how black people look. And then he would take those poses and use it in a very controversial and then shoot somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Like this is supposed to look. Like, just such a smart stroke. Like, I don't know who, like, choreographed that. It was him or, like, whoever worked on it. Like, just, like, stunning. Like, the first gunshot, that pose he strikes where his arm's out, it's, like, jetting out in an almost 90-degree angle onto his thigh, and then he just pulls his, like, just stunning.
And I wouldn't put it past Donald Glover because he can direct. He's proven he can direct multiple things. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd be very impressed that if he, you know, directed it, wrote the lyrics, did all the cinematography behind it. Like, that man can do everything.
I know it was shot by one of the guys that does Atlanta. His name's Hero something. I can't think of it.
As directed, but it's absolutely a stunning visual piece as a director. Like, I don't know how he doesn't win award after award for whatever is going to come his way for that video. I think already over 65 million views on YouTube. Like, the entire country and world has seen this video and thinks about it now because of that director.
What are the music awards? Grammys? No. Yep.
Yeah, Grammys.
He's gonna win a Grammy. I hope he wins a Grammy for this because like it would just add to his very many awards.
Best video, I don't know. I don't watch the Grammys, but if there's one for best video, this one has to win it. I mean, I can't see anything coming out unless Kanye drops something.
How is that? I don't know, like how deep do you guys want to get into like the message behind it? You know, with the idea of that black communities are being kind of like ravaged by gun violence, but it's all being glorified for kind of white culture's entertainment.
Oh yeah,
Like
and
that was my way from. What do you guys think about that?
I know so the director said their goal is to normalize blackness, and
Mhm.
and I think, there is a lot of gun violence, and there's a lot of gun violence everywhere. We got to fix
Mhm.
that issue, but we also got to fix, we can't overlook, we can't let anything overlook where we count, like where we've been. We got to fix everything. We can't just fix one thing. And when he says normalize it, I feel like we have to get comfortable with addressing the problem to fix the problem, and I think that is a very good step to go in. Like he had a lot of shock value, but like literally after you see this, you can actually talk about it now. I think, him being a comedian, comedians always bring up stuff that's controversial to where people talk about it. They bring it up in a humorous way to where it's okay. I think he's doing that, or bringing out something that is very, let's not talk about that. He's bringing it out to where people will talk about it. I think that highlights his multiple talents and like just being an orator and an artist.
Mhm.
Yeah. I know. I agree with everything you all said. It's definitely drawn attention to gun violence, to normalize the black culture in America. I also thought a point that I've taken from it, and I've also read a whole bunch of articles on this, so this isn't entirely my idea. I can't take credit, but
you could cite them after the episode.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting, and this is something that, like I said, I would have never thought of after. I mean, at this point, I've probably watched the video like 15 times, but the dances and the movements and everything, even though they all hold their own meaning, they all serve as a distraction for what's really going on in the music video. What's the rides that are taking place, the fires, all the, craziness. I mean, I'm pretty sure at one point there's a dude that jumps from the top row of the balcony down into and like, if you, like, it's just, I don't want to say media as a whole causes the distraction, but I think looking at something, taking the best parts of it and ignoring the rest of it is a big problem, and something that we need to kind of look at the whole, take the best parts of it, but also have to try to fix and care for the troubled parts.
Yeah, don't settle for what we just see immediately. Delve into it
exactly.
and fix that part.
Sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
like,
go ahead.
Gun violence, man. Like, gun violence is obviously a big topic here in the country, like, because all the mass shootings going on and stuff. But I think it's very interesting that he really wants to shine a light on the gun violence going on within the black culture that's like absolutely devastating generations of black kids. And the way we are so reverent about guns in this country, every time he kills somebody with a gun, the gun's laid onto this like red velvety material that someone's holding it for him, while the person who was shot, or like just no one even cares about them. I thought that was like such a stunning visual and a stark reminder that the things we focus on in this country are not the things that are going to end up healing us and making sure the next generation does better than whatever's like came before them.
Yeah, no, that's completely right, because they focus more on after a shooting, they focus on the gun laws rather than that family that's mourning, and that shouldn't be the case. You should be focusing on that family, and then kind of go to this is how we have to fix this. We can't have families falling apart like this.
How can we prevent this from ever happening again?
Yeah,
is more so what the focus should be on, and not, we can't get rid of gun laws. It's actually video games that's causing all this.
Yeah, so just want to cover it up.
Oh no. Oh, dude, I just talked about this with my co-host about like the NRA. It's just like, again, it's the kids making, the video games making the kids sick that's causing these massive like deaths and not anything else. I'm like, oh yeah, it's not their access, how they got it out of their parents' closet. Like,
Yeah.
That's not, you know, it's the video game. It's us picking up controllers, not that they have an ease of access to an unprotected weapon. Like, come on.
That's exactly right. It's you almost take away from the parents, like, teach your kids gun safety. You just want to say, man, it's those kids doing it. It's like everybody is pushing it on to the new generation. Like, this is your fault. You were a victim, but it's your fault, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And
but I absolutely love the video, man. I wish, you know, if too many videos like this come out, it kind of gets muddled. But one of the things that I thought was super interesting when thinking about it today is, you know, we're in a turbulent time in this country. We're at war. We've been at war for the last like 14, 15 years. And everyone's been like screaming about like, well, in music, like where's the protest songs? Where's all like the 1960s folk music? And it's like, dude, it's in the rap community. Yeah. There's Eminem, there's Kendrick Lamar, there's Childish Gambino now. That's where it's at. And like pay attention to there, because those are people who are kind of on the front line of this society, like crushing us right now because of all the like the mess we have going on in our psyche right now.
And this might sound very stereotypical, but those people like Eminem, they and other rappers have experienced firsthand on some points what is the problem, and that's why they have this insight to tell us through their music. Like, they have the stage to do that, and what I find very encouraging is that they're not afraid to speak out on it. They just I feel like people, like you said, haven't actually focused on the rap and what is actually being said.
Yep. We think it has to be like an acoustic guitar, you know, in front of a quiet audience. They can be loud, they can have beats to it, and it's the message behind it that we have to pay attention to.
Right.
Yeah.
I know one, I don't know if you all have seen this video or not. It's fairly new, but it's the Joyner Lucas I'm Not Racist.
I've not
seen that. Yeah.
Okay. It's a very good video. It's very shocking. And again, I think it's kind of meant for the same thing as what Childish Gambino put out in This Is America, to start a conversation of we have two different standpoints on a certain thing that's causing this big rift between the white community and the black community, and there's certain stereotypes and all this too that people see from both angles, but if they actually sit down, it's not really true and talk about it. And then, I mean, it's a great video.
I'll have to go look
at it. It's very shocking. And but yeah, I just wanted to
very heavy video with that one.
Yeah.
And
I think it's like 6-7 minutes long or something like that. It's like
yeah, and it's it makes you a little uncomfortable at the beginning because I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's what we should be doing. People with a voice who have, you know, a stage to stand on, go out and say it, or go spread something positive. Like, I know, you know, one of the reasons I watch Drnkie is he's very positive in his gameplay. His community is very positive. His brother Drnkadoos is also very positive, and I think it's these, like, you guys have a voice, and you guys are doing really well of you guys that I've watched have done really well of just putting positivity out there. You're very low on toxicity, and I think if more people in the rap community, in the streaming community, in podcast community, just spread positivity, what could change too? Like that's something that, you know, with our show, we want to spread positivity, whether it be through laughter, through just being able to talk through tough subjects, and I think that's what we have to do as a nation, is just spread the positivity. Don't glance over the darkness, but be positive through it and help bring us out of that.
Yeah, and like to touch on that, because like, you know, I'm always positive. I think that comes because I come from a standpoint, especially when I get a camera, that I really want to portray to people and like make sure they know. It's like, it's all about being very honest. Like, I'm very honest with like the way I die. I'm never blaming other people. I'm not like throwing stuff at the game. It's like, because I come from a place where it's like super honest about why I died, I'm able to like keep like my positivity going. Like, once you start like blaming other stuff and blaming other people, whether it's in a video game or your life, negativity and the toxicity just like starts to creep in and get on you. And that's like a lesson I learned fairly late in my life, man. There's a guy I used to work with, a black gentleman by the name of Antoine, who really, I was a line cook, and I used to run the window, which is like, for in layman's terms, kind of like the Gordon Ramsay position, where you're in charge of the kitchen and stuff, and you're making sure everyone's doing stuff. And that was a life lesson he really taught me when I was cooking up in Tallahassee, was that like once you're honest with yourself and that you're not mad at other people, you're mad at yourself, then all of a sudden you let it out and you're honest, and all of a sudden all this positivity starts to creep into you. And like I can't like promote that enough. Like, be honest with yourself, and like that positive like mentality just starts to like take over you.
And like I love that. Which through your being honest with yourself, how you die and stuff, like I think people first see that as, oh, this is how I get better. But once they figure out that you can't just do that in the game, they do that with the life. That's when they start feeling better. Not like I can't commend you guys enough for that. I feel like the Twitch community is changing for the better because of like streamers like you and your brother and Ninja and
has to, brother. Like,
yeah. And that's awesome. And I guess on this note, let's kind of transition to a little bit of a lighter subject while we're talking about streaming. Is I'm a huge Fortnite nerd. Lucas and our other co-host Chris aren't, but I'm really glad I had you because I can nerd out about this new season.
Ooh. I can't stop thinking about Fortnite, playing Fortnite. This new season, they've outdone themselves with like content, with like the scope of the map. Like, I can't stop playing this game and thinking about it. My girlfriend, I think, is just completely done with my nonsense. Like, I just see the look in her eyes, man. She's just like, I've lost you.
Like I come home from like, so I'm starting to try streaming on Xbox through Fortnite, trying to be a little bit different because like there's a lot of PC streamers out there. I don't have a PC, so like trying to be a little bit different. But like Fortnite, there's such a gravity to it. Like, it's such a good game that like, I'm like, what game am I gonna play today on stream? Well, I mean, I'm gonna play Fortnite, duh. But like this new season, like I didn't think they could top last season with the astronauts, and then they built so much hype for like this asteroid to hit, and all the thought and all the like the little things they touched on, like wherever a meteor hit, it was damaged. Like whether it was a huge rock or a small rock, it was amazing.
And they're really starting to like build this kind of meta backstory into the world. Like everywhere the meteors hit, now there's like these black cars with this like government agency. There's like, it's all branded and logos, and they have semi trucks, and there's these moon rocks that are toxic, and they're evolving the map. Dude, they changed a piece of the map from the week before. I had no idea because I was like, they're not gonna do that. And then all of a sudden, there's a new building because like the government agency is getting more control of the meteor site. Like the people over at Epic are just crazy. They're crazy good. They're so smart. How are they so smart?
Like I have no idea how they keep outdoing themselves. And you also surprised me because I thought you were going to go with your meme when you said Epic.
Oh, I was thinking about it.
Like I was like, I wonder what he's going to say. But no.
How do we get Lucas on Fortnite? What's going on here?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a real good answer for you. Honestly, I played it for about a month or so, and it just didn't really grab me. Okay. I don't have anything against the game. I actually love the game, that it's a living, breathing community, that it's constantly changing, that there's constant updates. They're adding stuff like the Infinity Gauntlet mode for the Thanos and all that. The meteor, the seasons, all of that stuff. To me, it seems like they're actually taking the time to care about this free game that seemed to be a complete afterthought of what they were initially going for, and they have turned it into the best game out right now, honestly. But
did you ever see when it first launched and it was a big PvE game, that like all the streamers on it were all like the variety streamers, because it's just supposed to be a base builder game that you can jump on all the time, and all the variety streamers were on it, and now it's like the most competitive PvP game out there, and it's just the funniest. Like, how did they even stumble upon this? Were they just like, let's give it a shot? But it took off, man. It took off. I've never seen anything like this as an adult. Like, this is Pokemon, this is Minecraft, but I'm an adult now for this, and I can actually buy the stuff that they're selling. I got it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So like I have a job now, so like I could buy that skin if I wanted, or that dance over there. Like, what's crazy is like all the things. So they have all this free aspect of an awesome map. They put so much work into that, and then they put stuff, like they put work into times that's going to make them money, but they also put it in like, so if there's a glitch, it might not happen, right immediately, but they will fix a glitch. They're like, and it's still kind of in beta. Like they still say it's in beta, and like Lucas said, for a free game, they care so much about it. Well, free, but like there's paying aspects, but yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't have. I mean, they're making a ton of money off it, but they don't have to do that. You know what I mean? They could have charged us $60 and been done with it.
Exactly. Yeah, and like Epic, I don't know how they just, the building aspect has it for me. Like I love, like I played PUBG, and like it's a good game. I love battle royales. Like that's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy how like one aspect can change a whole game immediately, and I love it. Like they thought out of the box, but that was like their brand too, because that was the PvE kind of thing. But it's just it's amazing. And or go ahead. Yeah,
the building aspect of it's like building in a game is not completely new, right? But they simplified it and put it on this like grid-based system, and they threw it into a battle royale. And what battle royales are always frustrating for is like sometimes you feel like you just get caught out and like you had no chance of winning this fight. You accidentally got out of position. Someone surprised you. What the building does is just it lets you control the game. Like no matter what you do, you can establish control in a fight. Mm-hmm. And because of that, all these people, like I can get out of a fight I'm not supposed to win because I'll build someone and then I can control them with my edits and my walls and like make the fight go in my direction, which that was non-existent up until now. Like people say this is just like a PUBG knockoff or like just another in the power. It's an extension of the genre. And it's a very unique evolution of it, and hats off to them for like blending these two game styles together and taking a chance on it, man. Because that's a lot of money to pour into.
Well, I know, like when it first started, like I started when it like as soon as it hit, because I was waiting for some kind of battle royale game to come to Xbox, and like I know in the beginning, not many people built. Like it was basically just running around and stuff, and the evolution of just that aspect to like. You'll have a huge build battle that'll go like 6 stories up. Like, it's crazy how it went from, just hiding behind this building to build your own building.
Yep.
And you guys kind of touched on it. Let's talk about this Thanos mode. How do you feel about it?
I love it. I got one problem. I don't get to play as Thanos as much as I want to.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play the video game called Evolve back in the day?
I have it downloaded. I played it a couple times. Yeah.
It was a thing. It was like 1 versus 4, or 1 versus 4 co-op. You'd have 4 people chasing after a monster. This is kind of where the Thanos thing comes from, except it's Thanos versus 99 people or whatever it is at the time, and it's so fun. My one thing I wish they would have added was a duo no fill.
Ooh, I like that.
And I know what you're thinking. Well, Thanos then has a partner. Think about this. Because you guys saw the movie. If you take Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, right, automatically kills your partner.
Oh, wow.
How funny would that have been?
Yeah.
It's like,
that's good.
Become Thanos, you're killing your partner. It would be so fun and so trolly between friends to do that.
Oh, my gosh. Well, the vending machines did that already, made like you be able to troll your friends.
Yeah.
One thing that I kind of wanted behind it was like kind of King of the Hill. Like a King of the Hill kind of style, instead of like, so even if the Thanos is in the arena, you can still kill other players. And I kind of wanted it, let the best player be Thanos and see if they can take on 99 other people. And
yeah,
because I get really frustrated because I've not been able to be Thanos as much as I want. But like I'll have him like squared up, like I'm sniping him, like he's close, and then I get like headshot from like across the map. I'm like, why are you shooting me? Yeah.
Or like when you do all the work to kill Thanos, you take like 800 damage off this dude, and then someone just comes out of the bush and picks up the gauntlet. You're just like, what? I did that. That's mine. Yeah. That's mine, dude. What are you doing? No.
That's so true.
I hate it. So that's my only critique. Is like I wish I could just queue up to be Thanos, and that'd be the way it is. I just want to be Thanos to start off with.
That would be awesome. Which maybe like I wonder if I wonder if they would. So they do the version 2s of different like limited time modes. Like they did it for like 50 versus 50. They hopefully they bring back 20 versus 20. I loved 20 versus 20. Maybe I wonder if they'll do a version 2 of Thanos Gauntlet and like maybe try like some of these ideas. Like not that they're gonna email us like, hey, let's hear your ideas, but they'll think of something because it's epic. Like
maybe with a different character or something like that, like another god type character.
Yeah,
would be very interesting.
I don't think that this was originally designed for Thanos. I thought it was like, in my head, this is another character that, and they just saw an opportunity. Like, let's contact the guys over at Marvels and see if we can work him into this, because this is a superhero season. I thought this was going to be like a big moment for them to pull out one of their villains. Like, no, this is one of our villains in our world attacking, and you have to stop him. I really thought that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Because I thought if it was a complete Marvel tie-in, why didn't they do it on the week that Avengers launched?
Exactly.
Why did they wait? So that's where my head was at. I don't necessarily know that this was created for Thanos at first.
Which, like, I mean, that brings it back to like you said that they're developing lore. Like, what if the version 2 is their villain? Like, who is their villain? Are they going to do like the whole theatrical thing for it, or do we already know kind of what he looks like? Because I have a theory that like the skin you unlock like for doing 7 weekly challenges, like I think that's their villain. I don't think Omega's their villain. I think whatever. I think his name is Blockbuster or something. I think that's the villain.
That's a villainy name.
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Which, like, what's crazy is I was playing with a squad the other night, and we found one of the there's a vault in Wailing Woods. And, like, you can't destroy it, you can't get in it. And they're like, I bet Epic's got, like, this thing done planned out for 3 seasons ahead. I'm like, we all agree, because they have to. Like, they can't come up with this stuff overnight. It's just crazy.
I thought that was like a Cloverfield type of thing down there.
Oh, that's a good idea, too, yeah.
Because I seen it the other day for the first time. I was like, what is this? What is this? And, like, you can open it or nothing. And, like, if they did something like that, I'd be totally down for it.
They've outdone themselves with a game that who knew if it was going to take off. Because, like, how many streamers are there? Like, for Fortnite, it's untelling. It is the most streamed game right now, right?
Yeah, it's usually the top of Twitch. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And, like, it blows my mind that they came to that. Just that it's streaming that much. And now I kind of wanted to switch it kind of more streaming based and kind of actually do an interview of you, Drnkie, if that's cool with you.
Totally.
I don't know.
Actually, no, this isn't cool. This is where I'm going to leave the podcast.
Oh, okay. Sorry, but see you next time.
Good.
So, like, I don't know how many of our audience are thinking about streaming, even know about streaming. I know that I'm trying to get affiliate. That's my first goal. So, like,
sure.
What was the hardest part for you about streaming?
The hardest part about streaming, I've got to take you back like 3 years ago, right? I streamed on this channel called Drnkie Gaming. I've since just switched it to Drnkie, because at the time I stopped doing gaming. I was doing like graphic design and pixel art on Twitch. So the hardest part about streaming that a lot of people aren't going to tell you is that sometimes it's just not fun. There's going to be days when you're starting off where you're just going to be sitting there with no one in your channel and you're just going to be talking to yourself. So the game's still fun, and what you're doing could be fun, but the mental strain on you that like no one's showing up, even though you've been here every day for 3 hours in the same time slot and people aren't showing up, like that's just not fun mentally. It kind of wanes on you that like maybe you're not being successful, that no one likes what you're doing. And that's tough. That's the toughest part about streaming, is showing up and being there when no one else is. But you got to keep doing it. You got to keep pushing through, because if you want to be successful in that industry and in that space, you have to do that. You have to learn how to stream to yourself and make it entertaining, and eventually learn how to make it fun just by yourself. Because I remember there was a long period where it would get a little bit depressing. And right now I'm kind of in a boom because of who my brother is, and he's given me a lot of discovery. But like I had stopped streaming because I had done it for 2 years to not very much success. I had about a year, excuse me, a year or so where not a lot of people were showing up. And then I kind of like, tuned it up to where I was getting about 20 to 30 people, but juggling all that with my work life I had, it just like was straining. Streaming is a very mentally fatiguing thing to do. It really is.
And I think that goes very unnoticed because people outside of the gaming community just see, oh, they're playing video games for a living, like that can't be that tough. But I think because I'm experiencing, sometimes like I would love to have one person, I'll talk to that person the whole time just because I'm really glad they're there. And that I think streaming is a very like viewer reliable, like you're very reliable, like relying on them on your viewers, because without them that makes it harder. And I think when you have a community, it's way more enjoyable, but to get that community, that's the hard step.
Yeah. It's, my channel, I do 10-hour, 12-hour streams. It would almost be impossible to do that if I didn't have people to talk to, if I didn't have a community that like cracked me up. It just makes the day go by faster. But I remember those days where it was just like me, and like I felt like bad about myself at times because what I was doing, all the work I was putting in, even though I was having fun on stream, just wasn't paying off in terms of viewership. So it is like when you have a community, when you start to grow, when they start to be there for you, it does make it super easy and like much more enjoyable.
Yeah. Another question here. So how did you come about choosing your game? I know we've talked about Fortnite, how it's awesome, but did you have any other games before? I know you talked about Z1, right? H1Z1?
I have played H1Z1. So I started off streaming Hearthstone, right? And then I switched to CSGO for a long time. H1Z1 after that. Then I went to just like variety broadcasting, where I just like played whatever game I felt like. Because I figured if I was going to be doing this, at least I was going to be enjoying the game I was playing. And so before I stopped streaming, I was doing pixel art and graphic design in the creative section. And that was where I found my most success, because pixel art then wasn't a very big thing on the creative section. I'm not sure if it is now, but it was very unique niche. And so that's how I had people showing up for me. And so I stopped streaming and I played a lot of Overwatch pretty consistently. And then my brother, Drnkadoos, he just told me, he's like, dude, you got to check out this game, Fortnite. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, I'm kind of over Battle Royales. He's like, no, trust me. He's like, just play it. So I started playing it. And like, I started playing it, and then I just didn't want to stop playing it. And so that's how I kind of settled on playing Fortnite as long as I have, because it's a game I can sit there and play for 10, 12 hours at a time. And like, I don't get bored. And like, people might tell me like, oh man, you look bored. And that's just like the grind. That's the grind mode. I would be sitting there playing that game, and like, I enjoy the grind. It's not something that like puts like a bright, happy like look on my face. It's just the grind. Like, I love it. Like, when I'm done, I feel satisfied when I'm grinding.
And again, if somebody from the stream or like that outside the gaming community see that, they just see that, oh, he's bored with the game. But the grind is, it's not always you're grinding level. It's you're grinding to get better. And people say like, Fortnite is not easy to get good at. PUBG is not easy to get good at. All these games are not good to get good at because they all have different controls. They have different play styles, and so when you say grind, are you talking about getting better, or is there something else besides grind that you feel like takes part in that point of your gaming?
It's two things. It's getting better, mechanically getting better. A lot of the times I die is because I'm putting myself in a horrible situation. But when I do that, it mechanically helps me get better at building, get better at shooting, because I know I'm under pressure to hit these shots. So learning, like getting better is a grind. But the thing I love is like grinding the leaderboards. I love getting to the top spot in the leaderboards. Last season, I was kind of successful at it. On Fortnite Master, I got to like, for season 3, I was the 33rd highest player for solos. Which for me, being as bad at the game that I feel as I am, well, I was like very happy. I was like, all right, 33, like I know the guys who are above me, like they're amazing at this game. At least I can get to 33. So I love doing stuff like that where I'm grinding leaderboards and climbing. It gives me like, I guess, some like deep down dopamine fix that like my body's looking for. Like, I don't know, man.
Which like, I'm going to say that like, you're amazing. You make me look like I'm a potato playing, but I'm also like, it's crazy how you can see yourself kind of stack up what's crazy to me is like, you know how you stack up because you know the other people that are above you. And you know, your brother and HD talk about this, like, don't start drama between streamers. And I'm just like, do you ever like have one person you gun for, like, I want to, you know, try to top them, like you're in a race, like I want to, you know, just edge out ahead of them, like, do you have a goal like that?
Oh, no one's like in particular on the leaderboards. I never look at that. I normally just look at my numbers and like see who I am better than numerically, right? Like, so I'm better than the 32nd person. Now I'm better than the 31st person. But I never like look, like I might notice their name and know who they are, but it's never like a grudge or anything like that. But in terms of like wanting to get better, I do have like players who like I kind of aim for, like I want to be better than that player mechanically. And there are people who I probably will never be better, but I keep pushing for that. Like someone I watch all the time is this guy named Hamlins.
Yeah, I know Hamlins.
And he's like top 3 players in the game. And I watch him all the time, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to get better than that. And I might not, but that's what I aim for. That's who moves I watch. Because when people say, like, oh, you're amazing in this game, well, like once you start to get to a certain level, you understand the game more on a mechanical level. And so I can see the things he's doing and why he's doing it. And so I have the knowledge, but not the talent. So like, I want the talent to beat him in that, you know, if I ever like got into a fight with Hamlins in the game and I beat him, I would go absolutely nuts. I would go nuts on the inside. If it was like the fight I was looking for, if it was just like a random kill, it'd be whatever. But there might be a moment where it's like, it would seem like I'm starting beef, like, oh, I got him. Ooh, like, take that, Hamlin. But like, it would be nothing but like, you know, complete love and like, I can't believe I just killed Hamlin. Yeah. Like, I would be fangirling on the inside.
And like, so that's what I would like to, like, that's awesome that's what you focus on, because let me drag Lucas back in here, but he just appears out of nowhere.
My bad.
No, you're good. If I can drag you, it won't let me drag you. There we go. Cool. And I think that's what, like, a lot of these people that are watching you guys, they don't see that as, oh, they're just trying to get better, or they have goals of moves they want to get, or of building styles they want to get. They see it of, oh, they're just trying to beat that person. And I think the streaming community is not about that. I think you guys are very, like, communicative of, hey, this is how you get better. Or like, hey, you want to stream together to where we both can do really well at our job. And it's not of, oh, I'm against you. It's, oh, I want to help you because we can help each other both grow. And I think that's yeah, go ahead.
That comes from a thing where it's a lesson I learned a long time ago in streaming. And when people ask me for tips, I have like 2 big tips for people, right? Is to be compelling, right? And that's different than being entertaining. Being compelling is what gets people to stick around and come back, because you can't turn it off, right? You can turn off things that are entertaining. I've, you know, walked out of movies I thought was entertaining, but I'm like, I got stuff to do. Like, I got to go to, but it's, you know, it's something compelling, it will get you to stick. But the second most important advice I give people, and this has to come down to numbers, is fall in love with your content, not your numbers, right? And that, when I did that, when I understood that, I stopped worrying about other people's numbers. Because there was a time where I was like, man, I can't believe he's like doing better than me. I don't know why. I think I'm funnier. You know, I think I have a better community. I don't know why he's beating me. But that was like, you know, the beginning of my stream, where I didn't realize that, like, if you start turning into that, it just makes it worse. So when you stop worrying about other people's numbers, and you're like, you realize it's just a community of content creators, and even though we're all looking out for ourselves, you know, when you're growing with other people, when you're not worrying about someone outgrowing you, then you can just play with them, and it's fun. And that's where it's like streaming becomes amazing as a community.
And it's such a, like, it's still fairly new, and it can still evolve into something bigger than it already is. And that's the outlook you guys have to have. Like, no matter what you do, I feel like in life, like, don't just do it to do it for like getting known or something. Do it because you enjoy it. And that's like, that is one of our messages of why we do the podcast. We didn't do it to like try to get a butt ton of numbers. We did it because it helps us stay in touch. Like, it kind of forces us an hour to talk to each other and stay friends. But also we want to help people and just make them laugh. Like, I think you have to do, like, why you do it is what you have to elaborate on whatever you do in life. That's what you have to think of. Like, am I doing it for a good cause, or am I just doing it to do it?
I 100% agree with that.
Well, Drnkie, thank you so much for being on this episode. I'm a huge fan, and I hope you guys go check out Drnkie. Yeah. I know you said today you just love talking, and hopefully people enjoyed listening to you. I know I had fun talking to you. I have a blast every day. Like, so anytime I have downtime, like a break or something, I'll plug in on your stream, and it's so much fun. And you guys should go do that too. It's twitch.tv/Drnkie, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Twitch.tv/Drnkie. It's spelled Drnkie. Someone had it with a U, and then no one knows the spell with the IE, so it's Drnkie. So it's weird, but somehow you can find me. You'll meander there and enjoy yourself.
Yeah. You'll definitely enjoy yourself. And if you enjoy podcasts, hopefully you do. If you're listening to us, you should go check out Backspace Nomads for Drnkie and his co-host Monica. They're really fun. They have a lot of gaming news, and you also do like movie reviews too, right?
Yeah. We get into like most things about gaming, but of course, if like there's a big movie like The Avengers or Deadpool, I'm sure we're going to talk about at some point. Black Panther, anything nerd will like dive into and dork out about. But we mainly focus on the gaming niche. Sometimes more focused on indie gaming than anything else. But yeah, it's a fun time. My co-host is like much funnier and like weirder and interesting than me. So like if you like this, like you're gonna love her. She's like a much like better, funnier version of me. Like completely.
And you guys are all available on YouTube, iTunes, and all other major podcasting platforms, right?
Yeah, pretty much every podcasting platform: Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. I'm trying to get on Spotify. I don't know why I can't. Also, Anchor we're not on yet. We're working on that. But if you type us into Google, you're gonna find us somewhere.
Yeah, and like I said, thank you so much. Is there any social media that you'd like for the people to check out for you?
If you guys want to find me on Drnkie and talk with me, it's at Drnkie on Twitter. Instagram is don't worry about Instagram. That's not. Just Twitter me up at Drnkie, just like my Twitch, Drnkie. Hit me up there, say hello. I'll have I love having conversations with people on there. So come find me.
I can vouch for that. He literally said that today in front of like 1,000 people. So he's true to his word. Guys, please check us out on any major social media at BT Static on Twitter. We got a Facebook page, facebook.com/BT and I stream. Check me out on twitch.tv/CurbStomp74. Love to see you there on Mondays and Sundays. So thank you so much for joining us, Drnkie.
Wow.
Hopefully this episode.
I had a blast here. It's fun.
Yeah. We had a blast having you, man. Hopefully this episode's
awesome.
Hopefully this episode's been better than Static. So
Peace.
Yes, I prefer this much more than listening to Static. So.
Yes, we've achieved.
I'm glad you said that.
That was a part of the contract. We were going to scrap it if you didn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm glad I didn't know the contract because I would do it just for this in your cereal. That's how I live my life.
Thank you so much. I had a blast.